Hello, everybody. I'm Shades. Have you ever heard of Hamza Tzortzis? He's a Muslim convert. He's an apologist for Islam. And here's a clip.
We are brought up thinking that everything that we must verify has to be touch and feel.
Yeah.
But let me tell you something. If God could be touched and felt and seen, would that be God?
No, what you mean.
Would that be
It
God?
wouldn't really be a test of belief, would it? Because you would know
It's
for a
not
fact
even
he's
just a
there.
belief, because God actually says there's good reasons to believe in Him. For example, look, do you believe you had a great grandma?
No.
Do you believe you
I
had
mean, yeah, but I mean, there's obviously, I know that because obviously
Why?
I'm here now.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but that's exactly the point. Have you ever seen your great grandma? You don't have access to her DNA.
I know
her grave?
scientifically, I would have to have one to be here.
How,
though,
how,
do you know
how, well, no. See, that's the point. Using the terminology here. Scientifically, you have no clue. You've made a logical, rational decision. Not based on the physical world, based on necessity. If it's necessary your great-grandmother existed in order for you to be here. You can't see her. But if someone said she never existed, you say, get lost, man, you're crazy. Do you see my point?
Yeah.
So the point is, we don't need physical evidence all the time to come to conclusions. Exactly the same thing with God. As you said, cause and effect, creator and created.
Atheists claim that everything we know has to be based on touching and feeling, says Hamza. If you could touch and feel God, it would not be God. Thus, the existence of God gets validation from another source that is not scientific, but is valid anyhow. The proof lies in the necessity of a creator. Just as the fact that I exist proves that my ancestors existed, even though we cannot touch or feel them. Also, the fact that the universe has begun to exist makes it necessary that there is a cause for that beginning of existence. That cause is God.
Put it this way. Everything in the universe, dude, that begins to exist, okay, if I just popped like this, here I am, I just popped into existence, has a cause. You know it must have came from somewhere. Everything that begins, that starts to exist, always has a cause. Number two, the universe, without a shadow of a doubt now, began to exist. Based on philosophy, mathematics, Big Bang. You know about the Big Bang, yeah?
Yeah, well, yeah.
And it's not that thing after too many curries, right? Yeah, the Big Bang, okay? So from all this, we know the universe began to exist. So what logically follows? Therefore, the universe has a cause.
Mr. Tzortzis begins with a strawman argument and finishes with a well-known Cosmological argument that he has borrowed from William Lane Craig. Hamza says that there are two kinds of knowledge. Scientific knowledge is based on physical evidence, something you can touch, feel, see, etc. Then there is logically necessary knowledge. These are facts that have to be true, otherwise the world and existence would not make any sense. For example, you cannot prove that your ancestors existed. There is nothing left of them. But the fact that you exist makes it necessary fact that they must have existed. This seems plausible. Then Hamza explains that this same logic applies to the existence of God. Since the universe began to exist, it must have had a cause, since out of nothing, nothing comes. This cause is God. Let's see what gives in this line of thought. First, the fact that I exist is the physical proof that my ancestors existed. Hamza defines scientific method incorrectly, too strictly, and then claims that this is not adequate. This is his strawman argument. Cosmological argument has many problems. For example, we have never witnessed anything being created ex nihilo, that is, out of nothing. Even for a god to create something out of nothing seems impossible, because God would have to use his creative power towards nothing. And allegedly, something would emerge. Secondly, even time was created in the beginning. How could any being decide to do anything if time did not exist? To decide means to act in a certain way. Action is a change in situation, and that requires time. Even to exist without time seems quite counterintuitive. Thirdly, if God created the universe, God must have acted upon the materia in a physical way, at least to make the particles or protoplasm form atoms and molecules. Doing this, God stepped out of supernatural realm and into the natural realm. So we should be able to detect how he acted upon the materia. Unless we can do that, claiming that God put the universe into its present order is no answer at all. If we could study how God created, it would mean that God's actions would be detectable and thus a part of natural world that we can study scientifically. The fourth problem with Kalam cosmological argument is the most fundamental of them all. Pay close attention now. The older version of the ontological argument goes like this. Everything that exists must have a cause. This argument led to a problem. God exists, so God must have a cause. Christians and Muslims don't like this. Their God should be the ultimate beginning of everything. So along comes Kalam cosmological argument, saying that only those things that have begun to exist must have a cause for their existence. Since God never begun to exist, he does not need such a cause. Problem solved? Well, not quite. The problem is that in this argument, you define the concepts you set out to prove in a way that mere definition solves your problem. Unfortunately, this does not say anything about the actual existence of such a being. You simply cannot define anything into existence. Bertrand Russell was convinced by this argument for about 12 hours. Then he realized that it all boils down to bad grammar. By the way, in the empty space, quantums do begin to exist without any cause. So we do have physical evidence that this argument is not true. Thank you, ladies and germs. Bye.